Morning, everyone. I know you can hear that in the background. That is my Glaricaster picking up interference from my computer. I used the Faraday paint on it, or whatever the hell that nickel copper shit is. Um, supposed to be making everything awesome sauce and things like that, but for some reason it doesn't. It's still picking up a ton of interference, and it's right next to it, so I can't complain. It doesn't really do it when it's in my lap, so there's no complaints going on here. You can see I've been busy, 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 busy. There's cool stuff coming. Anyway, I'm here to talk about my guitar journey today. So this right here is my second lesson and the music theory from that lesson. Dave made this up as we went through what he wanted to tell me in the lesson. This pertains to the timings in Take It on the Run, my chord progression and where I'm counting, measures end, that sort of thing, and how that all works out. I don't have that little guide up that he brought up, but anyway, this is, as you can see up here, the circle of fifths. He just did it in Word as we went through it, did the triads, the chords, their position number in the scale, that sort of thing. So, if he said, as he's changing my mind, going from what I've done all my life, I wish one of my piano teachers would have taught me this correctly, because I think the way Dave is teaching me, Dave Levine of Dave's Guitar Channel, if you're wondering, yes, that is my teacher. I've chosen him to teach me because he is such a stickler for two things that I really want to know a lot about, and that is music theory, revolving around how music is made, how it's built, how it's put together, because without that knowledge I can't do anything with it. I'm just copying chords. And no disrespect to anybody that's not studying theory or doesn't give a shit about theory, but the theory for me is the base. That's how I'm going to learn how to do things. So anyway, he did the circle of fifths and basic numbers, yada yada yada. 5-4-1, or 5-1-4 would be a chord progression in here, in the key of G, which has one sharp, and that is F sharp, is the sharp in G, obviously. And the respective positions. So the way he's changing my mind, I'll get to more points as we go here, is instead of telling me, oh, it's in a key of G and I want you to play D, G, C, and then alternate G, C for a while and then go back to D on the chorus, or the D, G, C. Instead of saying that, he's going to say, okay, it's going to be a 5-1-4 progression, and it's in the key of G, so that's how you play it. And telling me the key of G, and then knowing that scale, of course. I'm not practicing these on the fretboard yet, officially. Yeah, I played around with it a little bit trying to find where the notes are, but he hasn't started teaching me that yet. I know it's coming soon because this is all building towards that. These are all the major scales right here. C, of course, no sharps, no flats. G with one sharp. D with two, etc., 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 down the line. But I was having trouble. He put this up here. This is supposed to carry not only this key of G that he wrote up here, but it's also supposed to carry these down here. And of course, I haven't memorized all the chords, G, A minor, yada, yada, yada. Here, I haven't done all that yet. I'm working on it. But I told him, well, I'm going to take what you gave me and I'm going to put it into a spreadsheet. Dun, da, da, da. Here is the spreadsheet I built. So here's all the major scales through F. Through F sharp. I didn't do C sharp. I may add that in here later, but for now, this is good enough. It's really fine. Because this way, as I'm looking at this. No sharps, no flats, key of C. Okay, C1, D2, E3, F4, G5. This keeps it all nice and linear for me, which works best with my brain. But I'm looking at this, I was finishing it up yesterday, and I'm looking at this, and, you know, it's the circle of fifths. That's what this is. I called it my major minor scale chart, but it doesn't matter. It's still the circle of fifths. If you don't know what circle of fifths is, each one of these, 1 through 7, because there's 7 notes in every scale, not 8 as some people say, and I was told 8 when I was playing the piano. C to C was a scale. No. C to B is a scale, and C starts the next octave of said scale. There's 7 notes in all of them. Lost my train of thought. Northbound train, southbound track. Anyway, it was hard to line these up here, and I was constantly going, okay, that's 1, 2, 3, 4. He'd ask me a question, you know, blah, blah, blah. So I do this progression, and I'm looking at this down here. Circle of fifths. Well, wait a minute. Well, Dave Levine of Dave's Guitar Channel is my teacher. Oh my God, he made a mistake here. Something, this is me talking to myself when I was transposing this from here to here. I went, well, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is G, and there's no flats or no sharps, so it really doesn't matter here, but G is the 5th here. And then it goes to F. Wait a minute, what? How could it do that? That's wrong. What is Dave doing? He's messing me up. And last night I had an epiphany. Or yesterday. Wasn't last night, but yesterday I had an epiphany. That epiphany was this. Don't laugh too hard. Put your drink down right now. This is, strangely, this is called the circle of fifths. Well, where's the circle here? This looks like lines to me. Columns and rows, which is how I laid it out here. Columns and rows in the spreadsheet. This is going to work for me in the long run. I'm going to do better because I'll memorize all of this stuff. I look at this every day and stare at it for, you know, probably 45 minutes straight, just going over it, talking to myself. Well, since this is not a circle, what I can't see is how they're opposed to each other. You have the circle of fifths with the sharps. It goes this way. I looked at a chart, and this is how I had that epiphany. But here, where I thought David made the mistake, nope, I'm just not looking at it correctly, because if I make this into a circle, this comes clockwise around the circle, going progressively through these. Each one of these keys, C, G, D, A, E, B, F sharp, all go clockwise around the circle. And you could flip-flop this if you wanted to, but every example I looked at of this online showed the circle as this going clockwise and this going counterclockwise. Well, then the magic starts happening here. Because in G flat, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. D flat is the 5th. A flat is the 5th of D flat. E flat is the 5th of the E flat of the A scale. B flat is the 5th of the E flat scale. Blah. Words. Holy mackerel. I don't script anything. Anybody who's watching my videos knows that. Then F, which is the 5th of B flat, and then C. So if you had these arranged, you could see how these would oppose each other. C is C. There's no sharps, no flats, nothing. It's just the key of C. That's it. The key of F here is opposed to Fifth here is... See, now I'm confusing myself again. The fifth is C. So G would be the opposing force, I think. Dave will correct me if I'm wrong, because I'm going to go over this with him when I do my lesson on Tuesday. He's only added 2 new chords, but he's blowing my mind with this stuff. Like I said, I wish in my piano career, studied classical piano with teachers and in class and everything else for about 9 years-ish. Before I stopped, I decided that I wanted to do something different with my life, and I went and started building hot rods and doing things like that. So none of my piano teachers ever showed me or talked to me about circle of fifths in majors. All I did literally was, my theory was, okay, learn your scales and go through them, and these are the sharps and flats that's in each scale. But I was never told about a relationship between the two, that you could oppose one and flip-flop it. You'll get harmonies here from here, and you'll get harmonies from here. You'll get harmonies here from here, the other way. Boy, yeah, that was an epiphany. And I know I'm not a teacher. I'm just explaining what happened in my head as I went, whoa, how does that work? That's crazy. Dave Levine made a mistake in his music theory. I can hear Dave laughing right now. Yeah. Dave is a machine. I am so glad that man has chosen to take me on as a student. I searched a long time for a teacher. I tried to find one locally. With COVID, it was difficult at best. Most of them went to doing remote video sessions with their students to continue lessons and do things like that. Well, that's what Dave does anyway. And since he's in Boston, Massachusetts, and I'm in Tigard, Oregon, Zoom is a great... No, not... He's not... He doesn't do that. He does his lives on YouTube through Zoom. But when he does my lessons, I think we go through Google Chat or something. It's more of the world takeover of domination of Google. So I got a lot of work to do and a lot of catching up. This makes more sense to me this way. At least I can, start putting these together, because he's not going to tell me. He's going to tell me, do a 6-2-3. I don't know if that's even right, but anyway, in the key of D, and then I'm supposed to just know, based on 6-2-3, which chords those are. Yeah, old brain is working hard. So I hope you all like this video. I'll be coming out later with some news, if for those of you that follow me. In the meantime, if anyone has any ideas or knowledge about how to continue to get that buzzing out when the hard drives kick in, or when I make it change something. See, I move the mouse, now it has to reference a new position. The computer goes bzz, 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 and you can hear that through the guitar. Like I said, it's right next to it, so this interference isn't too terrible. But there it is. I want it to stop. I want it to be gone. So if anybody out there knows how to do that, hit me up in the comments. I am very happy to learn from everyone. I don't have much of an ego when it comes to this stuff. It's been a humbling experience for me. Alright, we've seen all that. Move me back down where I belong, up in here. And I know, room's still not done. A lot of stuff going on. I'm still waiting for one more shelf. Yeah, that's what I'm doing. Just waiting for a shelf. And then I have to decide on backdrops, so I can put something back here so you don't have to look at my writing gear in the bottom corner of my TV. But things are coming together. Look, my laundry is over here. Can you see my laundry? Oh my goodness. So, off to learning land I go. I still got to do all my finger exercises and do some things with that. And then I'll come back later on today with some kind of a an explanation of what I want to do and where this is all going to go. I'm going to give some teaser announcements for some things to come. So come back and see me later in my other video so you can find out if I'm worthy of your time still. Thank you everyone that comments on my videos, my crappy stuff. I learn from all of you and I appreciate all of you. So with that, we're going to stop the recording and see you in the next video. Stay smooth, everyone.